Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to be gods at solo queue in just about 5 minutes. As some of you may know, I pretty much only solo queue. I don't really play with other people. This is how I hit top 500 in Overwatch, and this is how I plan to hit the highest rank in Valorant as well. It still is called Valorant, then I guess I'll become Valorant. Either way, here are some tips and pieces of advice I have for you to get better at solo queue. First of all, guys, you're going to want to choose your preferred role. There's quite a few roles in Valorant, just like in Counter-Strike or even in Overwatch. You have the role of the entry fragger, the support, the flanker, an opper, and among that, there's a lot of others. Now, you really can play multiple roles in one game, but oftentimes I find that if you want to improve and you want to carry in solo queue, you sort of have to assume one of those positions. And for myself, I found that I do best when I'm entry fragging. My second tip is about choosing an agent that can complement any team on any map for any situation. So this is kind of like choosing a meta pick. As we would say in Overwatch. I'm sure a meta will develop in Valorant if it hasn't already, but nonetheless, it's really important that whoever you want to main or who you want to play the most is someone that works well whenever your team needs you to do well. I think that there's really only one wrong answer, and that's going to be Jett, especially if you're solo queuing. I think you're going to have a really safe time with agents like Cypher, Sage, Brimstone, and Breach. Those are kind of my favorite agents to see on my team. Whenever I have those, I feel really confident in my games. And I think that those are the few agents right now which really just work well in every situation. You can obviously make your own judgment call on this. If you get really good with Viper, go ahead. But I really think that Cypher, Sage, Brimstone, and Breach are your best options, just no matter what. Okay, so now you know your role, your agent, what's next, right? How do we make plays? How do we win solo queue? So one of the ways that I've found that I've won the most is by shot calling. Now, this isn't for everyone, but I sort of like taking a role, if you would call it that, of like an in-game leader or a shot caller. I like making the strategies. I like making the calls, giving people the plays. I like coming up with strategies for people to use. Even if it's not me, even if I'm dead sometimes, I still give these call outs. I'm very vocal when I play, so it's easy for me. I understand this isn't for everyone, but being able to tell someone to go somewhere with you or have your whole team do what you say, it's a pretty good feeling. And on top of that, if you're smart about what you tell people, you could actually make some great plays with people you've never met before. Now, I understand this is harder at lower ranks, but this is a really, really important sort of idea and skill to develop as you sort of progress and you get better and you want to improve. Learning how to shot call is really important because it will also teach you a lot about making call outs and communicating with your team in general. I also wanted to quickly say that part of shot calling, why it's so good, is because you initiate plays. You actually start a play, and so someone like me who's an entry fragger, I can call a play and I can go in first and have my whole team follow me. It's a great way to get your team moving towards a site rather than being held up in a choke point. Now, with that being said, the next tip here, tip number 4, is about supporting your good players. So in Counter-Strike, I think we really saw the term trading become really well known. If you don't know what trading means, essentially it's when you trade kills. And what happens is you have a teammate peak, they die, but their death never goes unpunished. You end up killing the player that killed them in what would be called a trade, right? So this goes hand in hand with supporting your good players. If you can help your best player do well, you're going to do well. In every game I've had one standout player on my team. A lot of the times I was a top fragger, but there were a few games where I wasn't quite the top player, and I could clearly see that the player who was at the top was very good. So how do you actually support them? Well, you could play a hero like Sage. Sage is great for giving heals, especially on rounds, like the pistol round, for example, where it's really easy to lose a lot of health, put you out of the round, but if you have a Sage, you can just heal your best player back up. And on top of that, I also really like playing Breach or maybe even a Phoenix around your best player, as you can use your flashes to really set them up for some great kills. And 5th, we have switching sites with your bad players. So just like when you support your good players, you want to support the bad players on your team too. And this is nothing against them, but sometimes it's really easy for one person to actually be a huge detriment to your team and potentially even lose you the game. So if you have someone who's bottom fragging, you notice the enemy team is targeting their site every single round because you're on defense, it is not a bad idea to ask them if they'd like to switch spots with you. Or maybe you just double up on site and help them out. It's really important that you don't let your teammates just kind of get left behind or left in the dust. A lot of the times when people are playing bad, they won't speak up. So it's really on you to offer your help to them. And oftentimes they'll gladly accept because guess what? They want to win just like you. Finally, guys, I just wanted to leave a quick tip, which probably is going to be its own video very soon, but it's to learn how to use the economy. It's to learn to use your eco rounds to your advantages, to save up and make sure you're getting full buys as often as possible. Do not force buy every round. Make sure if you have teammates force buying when you're not going to, and when you know it's a bad play, make sure you tell them to sell their guns. That's a huge part of this game, being able to sell your items back to the shop. It's really important that you have the best gun you can and the best armor and all your abilities as often as possible. It's going to give you the best chance of winning. It's really easy to get snowballed by the economy in this game, so make sure you're paying attention and you know how to use it to your advantage. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. I think I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this because I just have so many tips I want to give, but I want to give a nice little quick video here, teach you guys how to get a little bit better at solo queue. All of these things are things that I do and I've done throughout the years in every game I've solo queued in, and I hope you guys learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support I've been getting, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take it easy, and peace.